What? It's time, mate. It's time to see this on the dyno. That's it, guys. Welcome to Grease Garage. Today we are putting the Nissan Patrol on the dyno to finally see what it does with just the little things we've done. We have done a snorkel.
Intercooler.
Fan.
D-boost controller.
There you go, and the boost controller. So just really simple things that everyone can do at home. We've also done a dump pipe. 3-inch, haven't we?
3-inch back.
So we're going to hook some sensors up, we're going to play around and we're going to see how much power we can make out of this Nissan Patrol without actually tuning it. So let's get into it.
Yeah.
Alright man, let's do it. Woo. Now look at our beautiful handiwork that we've done here. So the sensor that we are going to be looking at the most today is the boost, vacuum, all that sort of stuff, boost curve. So we need to take this off, and every time we take it off it seems to rip. Actually, let me got a hole in this.
Probably.
And we're going to put in a nice T. And this is so our dyno can actually read what boost we are running at. And it just goes in there.
Where's the one with the hole?
And that one there. Yep. That's why you always got to chip these cars out. There we go. In like Flynn, mate. Right, let me, if I can give that to you there. Run that cord around and plug that into the dyno. Alright, now while Liam is hooking up this wire out of the way, let's talk about it. So this thing that we're putting on here is just a T and it goes to a 5-bar boost sensor and that's connected to the dyno. So this is going to be what's going to be reading the boost curve and all that sort of stuff, and we'll be able to see that on the power sheet. Yeah, so that's looking really good. A couple of things we need to do now is do the cold air intake and get the fan in position.
Done that.
So what we're going to do first, we're just going to go into a speed mode and we're going to lock this down to 60 k's per hour. And we're just going to see how she pulls up on the dyno. Liam, just watch the wheels please. Do that in third. Now we also want to see the correct torque figures from the Patrol, which means I need to correctly enter the engine speed, also known as RPM, to the wheel speed into the dyno program. As you can see, the wheel speed is here, and the RPM, which I'm adjusting to match the car tacho, is here. If I don't do these corrections, the torque figures will be way off, something to watch out for, as a lot of dyno tuners don't go the extra effort, as most people are just focused on power readings. Alright, so 2.5, we are at 86 kilometers. So this is how we get our torque ratio. So 2, 5, oh, what are we doing there? 2, 5, we're doing 86 kilometers per hour, beautiful. So that's going to figure out our torque. All right, let's do a run. What does this rev to? 5,000?
No, 4.5.
Yeah, that's right, 5,000 then. And torque, you should expect to see it in there, but we want to look at boost curve first.
Probably, the one getting up and past the road. might have been a little cut, yeah,
And we're not expecting a lot of horsepower here, so we'll put it as 140. Okay, here we go, first run. Alright, very nice. So we just made 114.9 horsepower. And we are on probably about 13 psi. Liam, turn the boost up. There we go, second pull, more boost this time. Let's have a look what he's done. Wow, that was a big difference. Try that again, eh? So we're running 16 psi. It's a bit better. Oh no, we're running more now. 17 psi. And 121 horsepower. All right, so we are picking up power. 121, nice.
I'm not good.
17 psi.
Yeah, that's blown out.
Is that flat out? All right, do you want to change your spool a bit? You want to change your spool a bit? Sorry, while Lynn's mucking around, we're just looking at the fuel side of things. And as you can see, he's definitely running out of fuel.
What's the revenue to?
4.4. Yep. You definitely need more fuel, mate. You can see there. But you've changed the spool now?
Yeah.
Alright. Let's have a look. Wow, look at the difference. Wow.
Wow.
Look at all this extra power.
Where did that come in? Why?
Yeah, low. Okay, so you adjusting the spool level. So your turbo was coming in, hold on, we'll have to have a look at the boost. So we'll just change this back over to boost. Alright, there you go, look at that.
What?
So your turbo is spooling way earlier.
I'm on the road.
Alright, let's just show you. Alright. So your turbo is at 2000 RPM.
Yeah.
You've already got boost.
Yeah.
And when your other turbo starts kicking in, which is about 2.5, it's on about 8 psi.
Yeah.
With that spool all the way up, you are at 15 psi. So it's it's a fair bit difference. So let's talk about the power gains we have just had. And just remember, this patrol is still running the standard tune. So the top power figure hasn't changed much, only about 6 horsepower. But between 2,000 to 3,000 RPM, the gains are pretty impressive. At 1800 RPM, there is a 30 horsepower gain, and at 2500, a 35 horsepower gain, or that's 31% increase on power on the lower rev range, and a gain of 35 newtons of torque. So now that's out of the way, I guess it's time to wind the spool up. Sounds mean now, eh? Here we go. No. So you've made so much extra boost.
Yeah.
Alright, so this is going to be a bit hard to look at it. So hold on, let me crank the engine up for a second and let's talk. 28 psi, 328 newton meters of torque. It was all looking good, and then BAM! falls on its face. The car called it quits and went into limp mode. But just remember, that was everything on max. I mean, the turbo was making 24 psi at 1800 RPM. That's almost doubling the power in that section of the RPM. It went from 45 horsepower to 82 horsepower with no tune, just adding more boost and spooling that turbo up a bit quicker. We did another run and we pretty much got the exact same results. Here's the air fuel ratios from the runs if anyone's keen to look at them. And I just want to say, it always amazes me how lean you can run a diesel. I mean, if this was a petrol engine, the oil pan would have a puddle of piston aluminium all the way through it. Just some crazy stuff. So the last test, we're going to test out this intercooler and the fan. Doesn't make a difference. So the first thing we need to do is heat soak it up, but we are approaching our 8:30 curfew, so we need to heat this up a bit. I recommend don't do this at home. All right, let me. Pretty hot. All right.
We run that fan?
No, we don't run any fans. We're just going to see what's like a hot day, you're not moving, how much power is the car actually going to make?
How warm is it?
Yeah, it's pretty hot. All right, here we go.
Not right on the guard.
Okay, so we've heated up that intercooler with a blowtorch. No fans are on, so we're just going to see how much power he's lost, if any, and see if that fan mod is even worth it. What do you reckon, Liam?
Got me stumped for words. I don't know.
Stumped for words, I love it.
Now.
Here we go. Wow. No, leave it like that. Leave it like that. Alright, so let's just double check that. So this is with a hot intercooler. As you can see, he's lost a lot of power at the beginning and he's lost a lot of torque. But power-wise, hasn't lost anything. So let's try it again.
My power back.
I reckon that is because it's cooling back down.
Yeah.
So if we turn the fan on now.
What one?
Yep, both of them. Alright, so we've got both the fans on right now. So we've done those two.
What?
Does I would open it up and just see when it's getting cold, and then close it with the hood. Oh, you can see for the exhaust temps.
Cold.
All right, just check. Let's feel that intercooler. See if that feels cold now. The fact that he can put his hand on it means it's probably colder than what it was. Yeah? All right, close the bonnet. All right, let's do it. All right, this is the last one. So this is hot and cold. Here we go. Oh, look at that. Look at that. He's made almost 20 Newton meters more.
That's amazing. Well, there you go. So the fan is a good idea. That makes all the difference in the world. Like you can see the power curve is completely different here. So if we have a quick look at that, the boost curve is obviously very similar. You do pick up a bit more on, pick a bit more up here. And this is obviously when it's dead cold versus just the fan on for a couple of minutes. And you can see that it's changed how it's boosting. And then power, it's made a huge difference. As you can see here, he's got power the whole way through. You've gained, what, pretty much 10 horsepower here. And you've, well, at this point here, you've gained almost 20, yeah, you've almost gained 20 horsepower just here at 2,500 for just having the fan on the intercooler.
Wow.
That's nuts. Just for a fan, only for a minute. That's crazy. So, I mean, it does work. And here's another thing. With it hot, it made more boost. We did a run and it had made 20 psi.
Yeah.
It made more power with less boost, more torque with less boost with the fan on.
More torque.
More torque and more power with the fan on and then making less boost.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. And you can see it. That's a clear result.
Yeah.
124 horsepower lead, 300 millimeters of torque.
Yeah.
Are you happy?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Guys, thank you for watching this episode of Grease Garage. We will bring you back with another episode where we put blow valve on this for giggles. So, until then, man, see you next time. And now it keeps recording. I can't win with these bloody cameras. By the way, I sold the dyno, so no more dyno videos. That's life. Cool, awesome. Still recording, Liam. Still recording. Now, Liam, it's a bit too close, man.
I'll tell you how it goes.
Yeah.